You ever look at your money versus your bills and think, why does this look negative? Even though I know I just got paid, then this video is for you. This is one of those money management situations that looks wrong on paper, but in actuality, it reflects how money moves in real life. In this video, I'm going to show you three things. One, how the exact entries and money moves that I make. Two, how I handle any expense that temporarily shows negative. And three, how I reconcile it all without pretending that my money exists before it actually does. Nothing here is literally theoretical. This is exactly how I manage my money. So, let's get to the spreadsheets. Okay, my bank balance that I'm going to input from my online checking account is going to be entered right here on my moves spreadsheet, and that amount is let's see, 40880.34. Okay, so now that I have that amount in, I'm gonna go over here to the money spreadsheet, and I'm gonna just hold this first cell by freezing it so that I'll know which spreadsheet is which. I already know that, but for the purpose of training or this demonstration of this video, I have the money management move spreadsheet. So this money spreadsheet, now the now that I've input the the current balance here on the moves spreadsheet, I have a amount of 1700.21 that I need to get to zero in order to balance the account. So I'm going to start entering the transactions that appear on my online banking statement. The first transaction is this amount of 1707.66. I'm going to format that to be a little bit smaller and to represent the total amount, and just format it a little bit better so it's better viewed. And the amount after that is going to be a debit of 45 $7.45. So just two new entries appear on my online banking account. One for a credit of 1707.66, which represents income, and the other one is for 745, which represents a purchase. And that purchase is going to be an expense that I'm going to apply and move into the grocery expense account. Alrighty. And I'm going to copy well, since this 1707 amount was income and it doesn't reflect the income that I was expecting to get here on my management spreadsheet. I was expecting to get 1750, but I only got 1707 here. Since I only got this 1707, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little note here saying that plus 1707.66 minus the 1750 that I was expecting to get leaves me with a shortage of 4234. And so I'm going to make a note here that that shortage is going to be applied to the auto fund. That shortage is going to be applied to the auto fund because that's usually where I apply any overages or shortages there. So I'm going to copy the formatting from the previous income, and I'm going to paste that, just that formatting there. So now that it stands out. All right, so now that I have those two entries in, I see over here that the account is now balanced. So now that the account is balanced, I can start go ahead and entering the amounts that I have moved from the 1750 that I was supposed to get. I'm going to move them in. I'm going to move the individual amounts into these expenses here, um, over from into my move spreadsheet. So I'm going to move the 1750, which was really 1707, and that amount is already posted. So I'm going to go. That's posted inside the um the checking account. So it's something that's already posted. I don't need to post it because it already appears as a part of this bank balance. So it actually a post when I move it, it's already automatically posted right there in the moves balance. Alrighty. So I'm going to start entering the fourth week column right here, all of these amounts that are going to equal up to 1750, and I should be short a budget, a planned shortage. Instead of calling this a shortage budget, I'm going to call it a shortage of the plan, because budget is a cuss word. Plan. Enter. So that's a shortage plan, and I think that I'm going to also change it up here so that it'll automatically populate the next time I enter it. All right. So now that that's done, I'm going to start entering these amounts. So follow along on the management spreadsheet, and you're going to see me enter these individual amounts here on my moves spreadsheet. Okay. And then I'm going to make this posting of 745 after I make these entries right here. All right, so the first entry is going to be 67 going to HOA savings. So I'm going to go over here to HOA savings on my move spreadsheet. I'm going to push F2 on my keyboard and put plus 67. That means I'm adding $67 from the amount that I planned to get, which was 1750, even though I only got 1707.66. I'm gonna add it to the I'm gonna add that income to these expenses so that they will be available for me to spend. All right, so far I got the 67 in there. We can see it up here in the formula bar on the moves spreadsheet. I'm paying attention to this spreadsheet and this spreadsheet. This spreadsheet and this spreadsheet. I'm gonna be going back and forth. All right, so the next one is house needs. I see house needs for $29. All right, so I found house needs over here on my move spreadsheet. I push F2 on my keyboard plus 29. All right, the next one is going to be 243 to the groceries. I'm already at groceries right now. After I hit enter, I push F2 plus 240. Well, actually, let me show you. You see how grocery right now is at negative 160, well, excuse me, negative 176.95. Well, remember from the last video that that was the amount that I was at a deficit of, and I knew that I knew it, and I said, okay, well, since I'm getting paid, on the next payment's gonna bring it to 6605, and let's see if that happens. So here I'm at 167 176.95. F2 plus what? Plus what I got, what I got paid, and the portion of what I got paid, which was this amount, or was supposed to be that amount, I'm going to apply, even though it wasn't this amount. I'm going to apply this amount still, and we'll figure out the shortage later, as I indicated earlier about what I'm going to do about it. So that plus this 243. So I come over here to my move spreadsheet, plus 243, enter. Now, look, you see how it changed to 6605? And that's what I expected it to change to. And there it is right there. It's just now it's backwards. 6605 used to be right here, but since I added the money in, it came over right here, populated right here. That's just a simple formula that I explain how I I make that happen in the last video. All right, so I entered that 243. The next one's after 243 on the management spreadsheet is going to be adding 868 to the auto fund. So I come over here to the move spreadsheet. I highlight, I choose that cell. I can either enter it up here in the formula bar, or I can enter it by pressing F2, and it'll create the same entries that I've made that appear in the formula bar. It'll create it here by it'll create a edit, and it'll increase the size of it and blow it up, and I can put in that amount of 868 plus 868. So that's two ways to enter it. I can let me undo that, and I'm gonna show you how I enter it up here. I can go up here plus 868, and it enters either way. So now I got 2444.88 to spend towards the auto fund. All right. The next one's gonna be back here on the management spreadsheet. The next one's going to be auto fuel 124. Okay, so I'm at 124. It's now 0. So I'm going to go up here in the formula bar now and put in plus 124. Enter. All right, that one's done. Auto insurance that I'm saving up when the bill comes, it's 113. I'm already at that cell right now. I'm going to go up here at the top in the formula bar, plus 113. Enter. All right, did that one. Auto needs is going to be $60 right there, $60. So I'm going to go, I'm already at auto. Is that auto needs? Yeah, it's auto needs. So yeah, I'm already there. So it's at 95 now. I'm going to add plus 60. Enter. All right, that's done. Charity, $5. F2, I'm going to go plus 5 in the formula bar. The next one is giving, F2 plus 5. Enter. All right, so I got those two in. The next one's going to be life insurance. All right, so no, that's not it. It's going to be on the go food. On the go food. It's important to make sure you enter these expenses in the right, on the right, from the right row. So the next one is $81 for on the go food. All right, $81 to on the go food. So I entered that. Where's on the go food? It is right here. It's negative 35, like I thought it would be. You see over here on the money spreadsheet, over here on the far left, the money spreadsheet in my correction active. I knew that it was gonna. I knew from the other day it was gonna be negative 35.28, but I knew I was getting some money, and I created this simple formula up here in the formula bar to add the negative amount plus the amount that I was getting from the management spreadsheet. So I'm getting, for on the go food, I'm going to move $81 from the income into this expense over here, on from the management over here into the moves, from the management over into the moves. So I'm on at the on the go spreadsheet right here. Since there's so many up here, so many entries into this particular expense, I'm going to just F2 on my keyboard, let it blow up right here, or zoom in right here, and then I'm going to put plus $81. Enter. Alrighty. And that changed it to now a positive 45.72. That's why I do the corrections over here, because it lets me see into the future. These corrective actions over here on my money spreadsheet, I do these corrective actions because it lets me see into the future week. All right. So now that 81 is done, the next one's going to be 40 going to drip and clothing expense. So I find drip and clothing expense. It's currently a negative $11, right? That's what I saw in the future over here on the money spreadsheet. All righty. The money spreadsheet said that, oh yeah, it's currently negative 11, but you're going to get $40, which is going to change it into $29, right? It's going to change it into $29. Watch what happens. I come back over here and I'm going to make a move from the management spreadsheet of $40 to the move spreadsheet. So I go right here, I can go up here in the formula bar and enter it, or I can press F2 and it'll blow it up and I can enter it there. But since I got room in the formula bar, I'm going to say plus 40. Enter. All right. The next one's going to be $19 being moved from the money into from the management plan into the moves. It's going to from the management spreadsheet. I'm going to move it from the management spreadsheet into the moves spreadsheet. $19 like I've been doing. So I'm already at side hustle. It's at 20 right now. I'm going to add 19 plus 19. Enter. And then the last one is yearly HOA savings of $96. So I got that one down here, yearly HOA savings plus 96. Plus 96. Enter. Okay? Now look, now that I've done all that, my bank balance plus or minus all of this stuff has resulted in a amount of negative 49.79 that's left over theoretically. The reason that is because I have not posted this money that has been removed from my account. This 745 has not been posted. I know it's not posted because I didn't turn it red yet. That's why I turn all of these others red, and the ones that I haven't posted, I leave them black until I post them. So I'm supposed to post $7.45 to groceries. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to move this 745 posting over here to the moves spreadsheet. All right, so here we go. I'm going to go into the groceries expense, go into the cell where the money is, and I'm going to go up here into the formula bar, and I'm going to say minus 7.45. Enter. All right, that leaves me a now that leaves me a difference down here at the bottom right here of 4234 down there at the bottom. 4234. Alrighty. That 4234, that represents the amount that I was short from my income. The income was expected to be on my management spreadsheet 1750, but I only got on my money spreadsheet 1707. And that's why I created this little simple formula here in this cell, 1707. Go up here into the formula bar, and I can see it's 1707.66 minus the 1750 I was getting is the 4234. All right, and I said I'm going to apply that negative shortage to the auto fund. So I'm going to go over here to the move spreadsheet. I'm going to go into the auto fund, and I'm going to subtract minus 42.34. Enter. And that now leaves me with a balanced move spreadsheet. All right. So that puts me in a position where now that my move spreadsheet is completely balanced, I can make some decisions about what I'm going to do with these amounts that I have to spend, and of course I'm going to spend them on the expenses where they belong. Oh, I also remember there's one other thing that I need to do that's very important. I'm going to double check these entries that I made as amounts of income that I'm applying to my move spreadsheet by just going back to make sure they're in the right places. This is very important because it allows me to avoid mistakes when I'm making payments, and and also it double checks whether I am balanced correctly on my move spreadsheet. So I go to each individual I go to each individual cell, and I put my cursor there, and then I go up into the formula bar, or I press F2 to see if the last entry reflects the amount that I input from my management spreadsheet. So in this particular case, I say, okay, HOA savings. I go to the HOA savings spreadsheet. There it is. And I see that the last entry in the formula bar was plus 67. All right, so I'm going to go over here and I'm going to shade it dark gray. All righty, just like I did for the previous weeks, and just like I kind of do over here for in the money spreadsheet. Oh, I forgot to change this one to red because I posted that one, right? I posted that 745 already over in groceries, and I can check it by going to groceries, and I can see that the last entry was a negative 745. So I'm going to change it red over here. I'm going to go ahead and put a thick bottom border on that last entry to indicate that's the last time I balanced. All right. All right. So let's go to the next one. $29 was supposed to be added to house needs. So I'm going to add it into house. I'm going to check to see if it's added into house need. And yes, that's correct. So I'm going to shade this one gray as well. That's been done. The next one is 243 to groceries. Go over here to groceries, and I'm going to see that, oh yeah, there's a 243 right before that posting that I made from the money spreadsheet of 745 negative. I put in a positive 243, and it shows right there in the formula bar on the groceries expense. All right, so that one's in. I'm going to come over here to the um, management spreadsheet, and I'm going to shade it gray. All right, and these amounts should already be shaded gray because there's nothing in them, so there was nothing to post, so I'll just keep that gray going on consistently. The next one should be uh, a positive 868 going into the auto fund. 868 into the auto fund. Did that happen correctly? Yes, I see that 868 right there before that negative 4234 that represented the shortage. So we're good on that one. I'm gonna shade that one in. The next one's 124 to auto fuel. Did I get the auto fuel right? Yes, there it is up at the top. So that one's shade. That one's good. The next one's 113 to auto insurance savings. Yep, there's the 113 right there. So I'm gonna shade that one in. The next one is $60 to auto needs. Auto needs is right here. Did I put in the 60 in the correct place? Yes, I did. So that's there. And this all I do all of this to prevent me from making any mistakes and to make sure that I balance. $5 going into charity. There's charity right there for 5. Okay, got that in. So I'm going to shade it. The next one is supposed to be 5 to giving. So there's 5 to giving. Okay, got that one in. 81 to on the go food is on the go food over here on the move spreadsheet. See, there's so many entries there, it's not going to show. I can either scroll down on the formula bar and it'll show there at the end. There it is right there. So that 81 was put in the right place. I'm going to shade that one. I'm going to shade these entries. I mean, these empties. I'm going to shade those empties. All right, the next one is 40 going to drip. Here's drip over here. Added that 40. Yep, it's right there. Even though it says 29, remember it was negative 11. That's why it says 29, but I did equal the 40, right? So it was negative, but when I added the 40, it was negative 11, but when I added that $40, it turned into a positive 29. Here's side hustle. In week 1, I added $20, right? As you can see, there's that $20, and then in week 4, over here in week 4, I'm adding another 19. So yeah, I put that in the right spot. I added it to the right expense. Done. And then the last one is this yearly HOA savings is $96, and that there it is right there. So that one was also entered correctly and then put in the right spot. Again, I do that. I double check, all of my entries to make sure they go into the right spot and the right amounts. All right. I input the individual numbers instead of doing like a formula saying plus this cell plus that cell, so that if I'm ever um unbalanced a certain amount, I can go back and check numbers and not check cells. Alrighty, so that is primarily everything that I need to do up until this point. I'm going to make another video about how I'm going to correct this last little this last little negative amount here because the water bill was a little bit more than I expected. It was $1.52 more than I expected. So when that amount appeared on my online banking statement, I noticed that okay, I didn't plan. I only planned for $76 on the water bill for the current month, but it was actually came in at $77.53. So that caused a little deficit right there. So I'll explain what I do with the corrective actions with that and what moves I make on the next video. But for now, all of my postings are in. The money came in. I followed the management spreadsheet, the management plan, and I made the moves. And that is primarily what I do in order to make sure that this particular type of money situation happens like it's supposed to happen, and everything is primarily completely under control. Now, if this video has been a blessing to you, or if you know somebody that could use some of this information in their own financial life, first, give me a thumbs up. Secondly, share it with somebody. Also, leave some comments. I appreciate it. Until next time, this has been Mike's Money Management Moves. Thank you for watching.